guys, I'm on the first drive, taking it home, and temperature is already creeping. That's because there is a hole in the radiator. So let's see if I can make it. And there we have it, cooling temperature. That didn't take long. Let's top off some water and let's see how far we can go. This is our problem here. It's sticking out right there. So that's bad. So you saw that when I bought the car, I knew that the radiator has a puncture. It was also communicated. It's been overheating all the way down. I drove it back, and well, there's not much left to do other than changing the radiator. So let's do this right now. So first thing you notice, there should be a sound dampening, a sound isolation under here. It's not, because it's in here, because some rodent was living in here, some nuts, some stuff, there's some random cables laying around here. I just pulled out another cable. I'm not sure this is unplugged here. It's not ideal. I guess this doesn't fit properly back there. So things happened here, and I just hope that this, I'll show you. This for sure is not supposed to look like this. This is a wiring harness between the banks, and it appears that this has been chewed through and been repaired. First question I wonder is, if you already repaired a wiring harness, why don't you clean up the mess? And this is just a vacuum line going to nowhere. There's another wire harness here eaten up, so this might be a little bit more work than I anticipated, but it's got to be cleaned out and sorted. This is important, most likely. Oh, I guess it goes back here. Yep. So I need a new vacuum line for that, because that's too short to fit on there. And of course, since I'm at it, I'm gonna fix this cable, and this one here also doesn't seem to be routing the right way. It shouldn't be tucked away like this. I guess they misrouted it. It should probably be above and not underneath. But that's just a smaller issue here, not a big concern of mine. Let's first clean all this mess. I found some of these nuts in the under tray, and I was wondering, what the hell? Now we know where it comes from. Don't you think my vacuum's gonna pick all that up? See, here we have some more pieces of the upper isolation from the wiring harness, and I will for sure repair this. I will not, if it needs repair. Hopefully it's done fine, but I don't want to replace the entire wire harness for this thing. But first, let's continue making more space. There's a 10mm nut here that removes your entire air box. You have to see where this pipe is going down here, because I don't want to unclip it, because it might break. These clips are not your friend usually. And then this entire hose comes out after removing this clamp here on the throttle body. You take this out. You have also a plug down here from the mass airflow. Then this all comes out. After that, I remove the fan nut here. This is a reverse thread, so you open it the exact opposite than the usual thread. Of course, you have then your plastic pins here for the shroud. You take those out, take these out, and then you have pretty good access to whatever's going on here. To gain access to your radiator from the bottom and to drain it, you have to remove this pan here. So to take that panel off, you have a bunch of 8 and 10mm. You have a bunch of 8mm, and they're all kind of different, like big one, small one, washer. Then you get 3 10mm on the front frame and 2 in the back. And they are different. The ones in the front are like flat, while the ones in the back are pointy. So just remember which screw goes where. And then you give it a yank and it comes out. And if you're lucky like me, a bunch of stuff in here. I gotta wash all this crap out, and I'm sure there's more under the car and in the car. So just to show you why it's always a good idea to look under a car before you buy it. Look from the top, even with some stuff out of the way. You can't really make out if the belt is fine or not. You see, you can barely see it, right? It is to the outside. But once you get the look underneath, it becomes so crystal clear. You see that? This thing is about to fall apart on me on every corner. But it is expected on a 20-year-old car, which has still its original belt on there. So I'm gonna take care of that also. Maybe down here, this one here is the infamous this is the power steering line. They usually leak down here. This is like this loop, goes around here, goes back up here, and changing those, every BMW mechanic did it before because they're leaking. It's just what it is. So we also see down here, this is a mechanical tensioner for the belt. I'm gonna replace that as well. And have a little corrosion. The car has been moved a lot. Other than that, back to the radiator. You see the shroud and the fan down here. The shroud clips in here. You just put it down and it angles up here. You see these clips, and here is your coolant. There's the block for the coolant. You have a down here, this little pin, and then there's a screw on the top that you take out, and then this just comes out. It is just held in place by the shroud, but it's not really connected coolant wise, it's separately. Other than that, the car looks somewhat fine underneath here. Of course, you have like more mouse, lots of mouse down here. As mentioned before, you don't really have to take the shroud out. You can leave it in. It will wiggle enough to do it. I take it out anyway because I have to do some other major overhauls, like bunch of vacuum lines that you already saw here. They're brittle, some cable repair and whatnot else. Maybe I even have to take off the intake because all the squirrel remains there in here. If you want to take the shroud out, you have these two connectors here. This one, you put it here on this little tab, out, comes up, then you push it in, and it comes up there. You just like this, and just this little spring here holds it in place. If you need a hand, you can also feel from down here, give it a push. That is number one. And here, this one, underneath is a little tab you push in. The tab is on the shroud that you push in, and that releases the block here. You just go like this, and off you go. Here's the tab down here. Just push this in, and that releases it, and it can slide it down. Then you got those out of the way, and we see further down that is the screw here. Here's the torque screw for the transmission cooler mentioned before. To get in there somehow, it's a little tight, maybe even from below, and take off these tabs here. Here is the hole. It was shooting out. It's been a while. Now I loosen the fan first. Keep in mind it is a reverse thread, so tie it like this. We're not going to lose it this way. So you loosen it, pushing towards driver's direction. God, so flimsy. And that is it. Good. There it goes. It doesn't go anywhere while your shroud is still in place. So now it is easier to see your connectors. There's one here. If you have a connector there, you can leave that on. You just have to remove this torque screw here and the tab on the bottom. Then we have this one here, this one on top. That is all. Then this comes out. And don't forget to do this thing down here, just like that. So to take out the T25 down here, I used one of those tiny ratchets. Comes in handy if you work more often for like small spaces. I'm gonna link this one out in the description, just if you care. It's not expensive. Now this is all loose down here, and the entire radiator is also loose. It's only held by the 3 hose connections. So let's drain it as a blue screw at the bottom of the radiator. You open this one, catch it all, and then you open your hoses. And I will also remove this one first, because I just replaced this. This is a new pipe, so to not bend anything. You usually don't need to, but well, just since it's new. So water should be gushing out and not just drip like this. That is interesting to the least. Open up here. Some more. So you see, this is all just clear water that I had to refill. It's a little tight in here, but it's the old radiator, it's the new radiator. It's a 1-to-1 swap, nothing else. Just don't forget your seal. That's the one that's sitting on top there on the radiator. Just clean the dirt out a little bit. And one thing I noticed is right here you have your drain plug. You have this little thing to see if it twists barely. See if it comes out, but I would want to reinstall that drain plug. Just so I can see better. Also, take a look in here. See all that oift? That's just disgusting. This is the water that came out of there. Blech. And unfortunately, that's just the radiator loop. I'm pretty sure the engine has more of that grossness in there. I just don't want to pull the water pump yet to open up there. And once the thing comes up to temperature again, it'll cycle through it mix. It's for sure better than having this soup only in there. And I guess in the future I'm gonna change it again to flush it a couple times to have clear coolant in there again. So I actually know what this is. Instead of having these drain plugs, which actually are pretty fragile, they're super soft, you have to use a lot of care to handle these things. That's a valve now in here, and then the water comes out here. Newer models like mid 2000s, 2010s had that, where you just put a garden hose on here on this one, and you turn this thing open. Whoop, it goes really hard because it's like a little stem in here with a couple of seals, and then the water come out here. Then you can close it again once you're finished. So interesting, you're gonna keep that. Going to replace, of course, the seals that came with the radiator. Two large, one small. It's obvious where they go. And then we put it back in. And in case they were wondering, the new O-rings, they go in here. Take a pick, remove the one out, and put a new one in. So it's time to finesse the new radiator in. It's cleaned. I've changed the 3 O-rings in there. You tuck away these. You want to put the clips back in place. So when you put them on, they just snap in. And let's go. This is the only somewhat problem here. It could be somewhat in the way, but let's see. I just plugged the plastic faster down there. Now adding the screw over there again. All hoses are connected. It's just 3. Changed the seals. Fixed or attached the radiator here to the front pack. Still gotta add the seal on here. And then I can slowly put it back together. So you just add the fan with the shroud back on, and then the intake if you want to cover. That's pretty much it. That's how you change your radiator. Make sure to bleed it properly. So you see now that it's cold, I gotta add some. It clearly states measure when cold. So I'm gonna open this up again a little bit just because, and I'm gonna fill up. There's not really much air in there anymore. But yeah, let's just do that, then this is done. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna see you on one of the next videos, either about this X5 or this 550 or this 535. There's plenty of cars in the garage right now, and I'm gonna go with all of them.